welcome out to ABC East Lanes in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for major number 6 of the PJBT Bowling Series presented by Heartland Bowling. Tonight's tournament will be major number 6. After the qualifying and match rounds, we have 7 players remaining. We'll have the 5, 6, and 7 compete. Winner goes on to face the 3 and 4. Winner of that will go on to face the 2 seed, and then winner of that will face the 1 seed. Hello everyone, I'm Dylan Bauer alongside Jason Althouse for today's PJBT matchup on Heartland Bowling TV Network. Jason, if you would mind going through and telling us how today's format will play out.
Well, Dylan, we started with, what was it, about 41 in scratch and 32 in handicap, and we cut down, I believe it was the top 14 in scratch. And then we had 3 games of match play, and we got down to the final 7 in each. And so today, in our first final match, bowlers 5, 6, and 7 will bowl each other on both the scratch side and the handicap side, and the top will move on to bowl the people in 3rd and 4th place in a 1-game match. Again, the top will move on, and then the winner of that match will bowl the 2nd seed head-to-head, and then the winner of that match will bowl for the finals. Should be very exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
It shall be. Like we said, first match here will be against the 5, 6, and 7 seed. For scratch, the 5 seed Brian Kennedy, 6th seed Anthony Nauer, and 7th seed Kelly Frayne. And then for handicap, we'll see number 5 seed Caitlin Mattingly, number 6 seed Brendan Hunsicker, and 7th seed Cameron Smee. Scores relatively low here today on this more challenging pattern of
Beijing.
The WTBA Beijing.
Yes.
Going down as we are again ready to start. Tournament director Matt Himmelreich welcoming the crowd as we are set and ready to start the first round of the finals.
As we're getting started, I want to give a shout out to last year's U15 Junior Gold Champion, who should be watching us from Massachusetts right now, Tom Hankey. He sent me a message to give him a shout out. And also, I want to say tough break to my kid who's sitting about 15 feet to my right. He finished in 8th place today. Just unfortunately 1 mark out of making the finals. He was looking for me to have a little fun with him online today, so unfortunately he didn't quite get up there, but just wanted to give him a shout out. He's feeling a little down right now. Looks like Brian Kennedy is up first on the scratch pair.
Brian Kennedy on lane 3.
Yes.
Crosses over, leaves the 6 pin. On the handicap side, Cameron Smee from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, getting the 5 and then missing. Back to the scratch side, Kelly Frayne, the 7th seed, 32 under after match play round. Again, leaving the 6 pin as it is Kennedy who's able to make his 6 pin. Frayne able to pick up hers as well. Anthony Nauer, the lefty, getting his first attempt here in the match play round. Crosses over through the nose and will leave the 4 pin. So far, we're noticing all the players crossing over and all leaving their same pin on their respective side.
Yes, it looks like the lanes are finally breaking down a little bit. I was watching the championship pairs during match play, and they were playing a little bit different than the rest of the lanes. Also want to give a shout out to Anthony. He is also a former junior gold champion in the U12 division 2 years ago, I believe it was.
Again, winner of this match will move on, face the 3-4 seed. And there's Brian Kennedy, who's able to get his first strike on the board. Back on the handicap side, Caitlin Mattingly on lane number 6 on the right side, leaving the big 4. there goes Anthony Nauer, able to strike. So all players for the scratch started out with a 9 spare and then followed up with a strike in the second frame.
I'm sure Anthony is going retro. He likes to play urethane right up the ditch. Anthony's father used to be on the PBA tour back in the 80s.
I know. I'm not out.
Back over on the handicap side, Brendan Hunsicker left a 4 count. Well, Brian Kennedy didn't like his footing on the last shot. He'll come back, reset, and Hunsicker misses his spare.
Go give us my kid.
Rain out of Yardley, PA, up on lane number 4 in the scratch division. She'll miss just off to the right. Leaves the 2, 4, 5. Brian Kennedy coming up. Again, working off of a strike in the second, and he'll make it through and get a double.
Brian and Anthony seem to be a little more tailor-made for this pattern. They can get the ball into a roll a little bit earlier. Most of the other bowlers, that helps on shorter oil. Actually, this pattern actually played a little bit longer than the 36 feet that it is. Could be the type of oil that they use here at good old ABC East. Anthony with a good shot.
Anthony Nauer on a double, so is Brian Kennedy. Meanwhile, Kelly Frayne working off and open. 48 through 3 for her. Kelly Frayne getting the second girl today through qualifying as well. She'll miss off the head pin. Leaving a 1, 2, 8. Meanwhile, Kennedy up on lane 4. In the red with the white stripes down the side.
Kennedy coming in a little light. Got the ball out a little bit.
Kennedy qualifying 8th after the qualifying round, minus 75 with a 187.5 average. Finishing at minus 11 after the match play to finish 5th. His first open of the finals. Back over to the handicap side. Cameron Smee coming off a spare, throws a gutter the first shot, and then picks up 7 for himself on lane 5. Over on lane 6, it's Hunsicker, who is the 6th seed, coming in at minus 51. He picked up 8 on his first shot. Anthony Nauer, lane 4, black shirt, orange stripes on his side. He qualified 5th with a 193 average, but misses the tough 7 pin. Again, winner of these matches goes on, faces the 3-4 seed. Close one still in scratch. Kelly Frayne up on lane 4 for a scratch. Finishing at the 7th seed, 32 under Leaves a solid 9-pin in the back. You can see the scores on the board. Kennedy and now we're very close. Frayne just slightly behind for the handicap division. Again, very close match there. For the handicap, Caitlin Mattingly will be in 19 extra pins, Brendan Hunsicker 48, and Cameron Smee 72.
Good shot there by Anthony. Looks like he's up on Brian Kennedy by 2. And up on Kelly by about 10.
Cameron Smee looking for his first strike. No strikes over there for the handicap side. Smee leaves the 7-pin very close. Here goes Brian Kennedy. He'll leave the 7-pin as well. Over on lane 6 in the handicap, Caitlin Mattingly able to pick up her spare. There's Kelly Frayne able to stay in the match with a strike there in the 6th frame. While Kennedy able to pick up his 7-pin. Mentioned Brian Kennedy, the number 5 seed, 11 under after the match play out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A lot of players from all over the area of Philadelphia. You have a couple local bowlers, Harrisburg, E-Town, across the river, and a couple further away. As now we're able to get the high strike. Make it a double
shot
for
there
him.
for Anthony. Pretty big shot. Puts him up by double digits now.
So now we're with the lead in the scratch division. Again, we're at ABC East Lanes in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for major number 6, presented by Heartland Bowling. Dylan Bauer alongside Jason Althouse. Some upcoming events that the PJBT will be having. Next week, they'll be at Mountainville Bowling Center. And then the week after that, they'll be in Hanover at the Hanover Bowling Center. So week by week, PJBT having these events for anyone 21 and under to come out to.
Absolutely. Next week, we're in the Allentown area. Josh and I will be running the show. And then the week after, we kind of go a little more than 100 miles to the west, down to Hanover.
Back down on the lanes, Kelly Frayne. Left the 7-pin on her first shot, just misses it to the right. That one would have been a big one for her to stay in the match. But a big shot here for Anthony Nauer.
Yes, he could go up by 20 if he were to strike here.
Through the
Goes high,
nose.
leaves the baby split.
Back to handicap, Cameron Smee, lane 5 in the blue. Misses just off to the right. Meanwhile, Hunsicker able to get the strike for himself. He has a 48-pin handicap as well, compared to Caitlin Mattingly, who has 19. Cameron Smee also has the 72-pin handicap. There's Brian Kennedy able to get the double.
That puts Brian right back in the match. He's now trailing by a pin.
Brian Kennedy working off that double. Kelly Frayne off and open last frame. And that one's just off to the side. This match looking more and more like it'll be between Brian Kennedy and Anthony Nauer.
Ringing 7.
And there's a solid 7 for Nauer.
If he were to make this, him and Brian Kennedy would be at a statistical tie.
Close match through 8 frames. As you just said, big pickup here for Nauer to make the matchup tied. Over on the handicap side, Hunsicker off to the right. Leaves the 1, 2, 4, 8. And Nauer's able to pick up his 7 pin. Getting low scores throughout most of the day. Only 2 bowlers qualified at plus in the scratch division. Lawrence Bianco Jr., who finished at plus 37, did not make the cut here. And then you have Alex Galinsky, who made it at plus 28, who ended up finishing at the 2 seat. Brian Kennedy leaves 3. Kennedy and Nauer both started out strong today in qualifying. Nauer 237 to lead qualifying, and then a 224 from Brian Kennedy. So they both started out strong. Those are both their high games, and now they're looking to get back on track here in round 1 of the shootout as Kennedy picks up his spare.
Another big shot here for Anthony. He can take a 3-pin lead. Strike for Brian.
Able to chirp out that 10 pin. And Nauer, the 3-pin lead, working on a strike heading in to the 10th frame. So big foundation frame there from both Nauer and Kennedy. On the other side, final score is finishing as Mattingly finishing at 143 with the handicap, and a 145 from Cameron Smee. He just came out on top there, but it looks like Brendan Hunsicker will take the match over there. Finishes with a 129 scratch, 177 with his handicap. So Brendan Hunsicker out of Sauderton, PA, will be moving on to face Shania Jennings and Colby Bennett in the second round here of the shootout. Back to scratch. Big shot here for Kennedy. He's able to get all 10.
One more strike out of Brian would force Anthony to get up and throw the first strike in the 10th. Kelly with a very respectable 163 on this difficult pattern.
We said the Beijing pattern very difficult throughout the whole competition here today. So still a good finish by her. Was behind her qualifying 13th, ended up making her way up to make the finals. Here is Kennedy. Kennedy able to leave 4. Kennedy looking to break 200 in this match. Again, Anthony Nauer, so as the 10th frame coming up, he's working on a strike. And he's able to pick up all 4, so he'll finish at 2:01. Now comes down to Anthony Nauer. It's in his hands out of Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Now we're up to the line. Crosses over and still able to get them all to fall. So that's a big shot there for Nauer. And with a few pins here, that'll put him on to the next round. That'll do it for now. We're definitely getting a turkey on that one. We'll cross over 214 with 1 shot to go, able to get a 224. Again, he'll move on to face the 3 and 4 seeds, Curtis Stidd and Casey Sullivan in the scratch division.
Good finish there by Anthony, striking out in the 10th.
All right, one final time. We'll read off the scores here for the scratch division. It was Anthony Nauer finishing with 224, finishing with the 4-bagger to end the game. 201 was Brian Kennedy, who put in a fight, and then Kelly Frayne finishing at 163. For the handicap division, it was Brendan Hunsicker finishing at 177, Cameron Smee 145, and Caitlin Mattingly at 143. We'll take a quick timeout, and we'll be back with the second round of the shootouts here on the Heartland Bowling TV network. Back at ABC, Slains in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for major number 6 of the PJBT Bowling Series at ABC East. Lanes right here on the Heartland Bowling TV network. Dylan Bauer alongside Jason Althouse. We're heading into the second round of the shootout finals. Both 6 seeds were able to advance, and Anthony Nauer and Brendan Hunsicker. But again, we have scratch on the left, lanes 3 and 4. Handicap on the right on lanes 5 and 6. Tournament director Matt Himmelreich getting things ready to go. But Jason, if you want, you can take us through what happened there in the first round of the shootout finals.
Well, on the scratch side, we had a very tight match the entire time. Anthony needed a mark in the 10th to secure the victory, and he crossed over, got a little lucky, got a strike there, and then he managed to strike out in the 10th. And on the handicap side, Mr. Hunsinger kind of had the lead throughout the entire match, and he sealed it up, but with some good bowling there, and he gets to move on.
Brendan Hunsinger, the 6th seed, and again, Anthony Nauer, also the 6th seed, who both advance here to the scratch division. We have 3 and 4 seed Curtis Stidd, the 3 seed, coming in at -6 from Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania, and Casey Sullivan, who finished -9. He was the 4 seed. He's the only member to make the finals, not from Pennsylvania. He's from Cumberland, Maryland.
That's one of the really good things about the JBT. We tend to get bowlers from New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia on a consistent week-to-week basis.
And you travel all across Pennsylvania as well, so you're able to get those bowlers from just across the border, as we are from Maryland, just a couple hours away, so bowlers are easily able to travel here.
Shania is up on lane 6. Shania's been working very hard on her game throughout the summer. She bowls out of strike zone up in Pottsville. Probably should give a shout out to TJ, the owner of Kegler's Pro Shop, up there at strike zone. He's been doing a lot of Shania's equipment, really helping her with her game.
Speaking of Shania Jennings there, coming in at the 3 seed at -38, and Colby Bennett also the 4th seed at -42. Over on the scratch side, it was Skid who started out with an open on the split, picked up the strike there in the 2nd frame. Sullivan also working on a strike. And for Nauer, he's working off a spare and a strike. Came off that big 224 game last game. Again, not very high scores throughout the day, so anything above 200 could be considered a good game.
Colby right now is shooting the spare on lane 6. He bowls out of Cedar Lanes up in Lebanon. I believe he is a member of the Pureit Pro Shop junior staff.
He wants you to say Anthony's last name right. Thank you. Wants you to say Anthony's last name right.
Okay.
Just a small correction there. Anthony Newer, not Nauer, as he's been pronounced the entire time here. Our apologies to Anthony.
And a couple years out of my mouth, as a matter of fact. Shania up, working on a double here in the 5th.
Curtis Stidd with the solid 10 pin.
A little bit of an age variance here in the scratch match. Curtis, he's in college. I believe he goes to Penn State Berks, member of their bowling team. And Anthony, I believe he is only in 8th grade.
We were able to pick up his spare. Tough multi-pin spare he had. Over on the handicap side, Bennett not able to get the ball to come back, working off a spare and a strike or a spare and an open rather in the 2nd frame. Leaves 3 here, and there's Sullivan on lane 3 in the orange in black shirt able to get a strike. Through 3 frames in the scratch side. Sullivan with the slight edge as he's working off a strike going into the 4th frame, and Newer working off a spare, both at the same pin count right now. Up on lane 5 for the handicap in the black shirt, Hunsicker. Working on the 3. So again, another correction, Anthony Nauer, like we were saying, correct? Nair, just off. So not Newer, not Nauer, Nair.
Again, I've been saying it wrong ever since I've known the lad for 2.5 years now.
Lane 6, Bennett. Working on a 6 count. Can't get the sleeper pin behind. So he'll work off and open. Not a good start there for Bennett, who doesn't have any handicap out of Lebanon in Pennsylvania. Meanwhile, Hunsicker, who has 3 spares to start here, and he's able to knock them all down on that one. A big strike for him, as him and Shania Jennings with the leads over there on the handicap side.
He said someone just told him.
Lane 4, Sullivan up. He's on a strike, and he's able to get the double, first double of the 2nd round here in the scratch side. Shania Jennings, who's having a good start for herself, is able to pick up her spare on lane 5 in the dark blue and black shirt. So Jennings with the 28 pin, and Brendan Hunsicker has the 48 pin handicap. And again, Colby Bennett has 0. Nair able to get a double himself, so himself and Sullivan are right in there, but back comes Stid, who's able to get a double himself. Sid had the open in the 1st frame. It's the only thing causing him to be a little behind.
Looks as if after 6 games of qualifying and 3 games of match play, and now 2 games of the finals, the lanes are starting to finally break down a little bit. We're able to get a little more movement on the back end, so scores should be going up.
Like we said earlier, for the most part, first game, scores were semi-high, and then the rest of the way they kind of dropped back. But now, like you said, with lanes breaking down, we might be able to see some higher scores as we did last game. Nair 224 and Kennedy at 201. On lane 5, Hunsicker leaving the 10 pin. Jennings on lane 6, leaving a single pin as well. Jennings starting out with the double, and now able to pick up her 4th spare in a row. Meanwhile, Hunsinger shooting his 10-pin, and he's able to pick that up as well.
Pretty close match right now on the handicap side between Jennings and Hunsinger. Only a couple pins separating the bowlers with their handicap. Very important on challenge shots just to make your spares.
You can't always control the first shot on a strike, but pending as long as you don't leave a split, you want to really try and get all those spares that you can, because those are what really keeps you in every match, even if you're not striking. However, a little different on this scratch side, where we have all bowlers working off a double.
Exactly.
But as far as the handicap side, mostly all spares. Jennings again getting 9 on the first shot, leaving the 3-pin. Scratch side back into action. Sullivan on a double, leaves the washout.
Is it wide? Looks with handicap, it looks like Brandon is up by about 4 pins after 7 frames.
There goes Stid. He works off the turkey. And he's only one on the scratch side with an open. The rest of them are clean. So that's a big shot there to keep him in the match. And a good pickup as well from Casey Sullivan, who's able to pick up the washout.
On the handicap side, Colby doubled, brings him a little closer. Split big 4 for Shania. Very difficult spare to convert.
Working off that clean game so far, but right there it is. Leaving the big 4. While Brendan Hunsinger also working on a pretty clean game minus the first frame. It's going to be a big pickup for him then, as he picks up the 10-pin with the 20-pin advantage over Jennings as well. Nair makes his spare. So again, Stid working off 3 in a row. Right on in the match. Strike here. Puts him up. Just can't get the pin action down there to knock down the 7-pin. But Nair able to get a strike after the spare last frame. Stid makes his 7-pin.
Very close match on the handicap side all the way around. All 3 bowlers still with a legitimate shot to win.
Shania Jennings, lane 5, goes in high, able to chirp out the 7 and 4 pin for the strike. And Sullivan able to get a double again, his 2nd of the match. Bennett needing a strike here. Just goes high, leaving the 4 pin. Hunsinger, lane 6, in a black and white shirt. He's able to pick up his spare.
And making the spares.
making the spare is very big in the handicap division especially. There goes Bennett, able to pick up his 5. Foundation frame in the handicap division. Shania Jennings with the lone strike. Both Bennett and Hunsinger with spares. Here's Jennings on lane 6 of the handicap division. Just goes over, leaving the 6-10. And now here goes Hunsinger. He crosses over and he'll leave the 1-3. Again, Hunsinger a 20-point advantage over Jennings.
It's a big spare for Shania. Can't quite come up with it.
That open there should just about do it for Hunsinger. Goes up, shoots his 1-3. Only had 1 open in the match before that game. He finishes with the 171 scratch, 219 with his handicap, and that should be good enough for him to move on as Bennett is starting to get something rolling here at the end. But the winner of that match going on to face Emily Scherzinski, the number 2 seed at +19 out of Carlisle, PA.
Emily, who's been bowling very good lately here on the PJBT. Her sister Chloe has also been doing very good. They've split a couple titles each this year.
Back taking a look at the scratch side. We have Stid working off a double. Sullivan up on lane 3 in the orange shirt. He's working off a spare, and he'll just miss left. Stid with the advantage heading into the 10th frame as Nair just falls off the gutter and misses his 10-pin. So now pretty much down between Sullivan and Stid. Again, Stid is up working on a double on the right side. Sullivan's the one on lane 3, makes his spare, so that'll keep him in contention of this one. But Stid with a good 10th frame can close it out. Stid just a little light. Sullivan backs out at 221. If he strikes out in the 10th.
As that miss there by Stid to open the door for Sullivan to sneak right in and take the match.
Stid able to make the spare. So with that, he'll force Sullivan to at least double in the 10th. He'll get a 9 count, finishing his score at 216. So again, Sullivan needing a double here in the 10th, and 5 to tie 6 to take the lead as Nair finishes out strong with the turkey for a 196. A little too late for him, but still a good job by Nair, who's able to finish off his day. And Sullivan able to get the first one, trips out the 7-pin late. There goes Sullivan needing a strike here. There goes Sullivan just high, knocks out the 6-pin, but won't get the 7-pin to fall. Curtis did with the win over Casey Sullivan and Anthony Nyer to advance on to face the number 2 seed, Alex Galinsky, finishing at plus 68 on the day. And Sullivan putting up a good fight, just not able to get it done. Keeps a clean game, the only clean game in the scratch division, finishes at 2-11. Again, we'll take another quick timeout. We'll be back with the stepladder finals of the 2 versus the winner of these matches, and then the winner of that will take on the 1 seed, Zachary Dragovitz in the scratch division, Brianne Hood in the handicap division. We'll be right back after this quick break. Be sure not to go anywhere here on the Heartland Bowling TV network. back at ABC Slanes in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for the first round of the step ladder finals between, in the scratch division, we have the number 2 seed Alex Galinsky, who currently up on lane 3 in the colored shirt. He'll be facing the number 3 seed Curtis Stidd, who fought off the last battle against his competitors, and Anthony Nyer and Casey Sullivan. For the handicap division, we'll have Emily Skurzinski, the number 2 seed, facing the number 6 seed Brendan Hunsinger, who has won his last 2 fights in the handicap division throughout the shootout. Again, winner of these matches goes on to finally face the number 1 seed in their divisions. Dylan Bauer alongside Jason Althouse.
Alex, interestingly enough, just flew back from Las Vegas earlier this week. He was out at Team USA trials, trying to make Junior Team USA. He came up a little bit short. But held his own and represented us here at the PJBT very proud.
It's always good to see bowlers from the local areas always trying to make an impact on national stuff such as Team USA or even the other events of Junior Gold and stuff like that, as Stidd able to double to start off.
Alex is our point leader here this year on the JBT, and I believe he's won 2 titles so far this year. We're looking for title number 3.
Again, Galinsky, the number 2 seed, one of 2 bowlers to finish plus in the scratch division. He finished plus 68, only behind Zachary Dragovitz, who finished plus 112. Galinsky not able to get what he wants on his first 2 attempts. Both having spare opportunities on his first 2 frames. He's able to pick up his spare though. Meanwhile, on the handicap side, again, we have Brendan Hunsinger, who's won the first 2 shootouts. He's the number 6 seed coming into the finals, and he'll be facing Emily Skurzinski, the number 2 seed from Carlisle. Hunsinger, a 23 pin advantage with his handicap, as he's shooting at his spare right now. Just able to knock it over.
Emily is also a multiple winner this year here on the PJBT Tour. I like to call her the silent assassin. She is a younger sister, Chloe. They're pretty polar opposites of each other. Chloe is, shall we say, very jolly and happy, and Emily likes to be a little more subdued, but they have a really good sibling, a rivalry going between the 2 of them. I believe Chloe has also won a couple times this year.
Back on the handicap side, Galinsky still not able to get a strike, able to make his spare. Starting out with 3 spares for him. Curtis Stidd, lane 4, working off a double. Meanwhile, lane 5, Hunsinger, able to go in and make his spare. Stidd crosses over, tries to go Jersey, can't, leaves this 6 pin. Skid knocks down his spare. Gets ready on lane 3. Curtis Stidd from Elizabethtown, PA. Stidd finished 11th after the qualifying, able to work his way up into the 3 seed. Finished qualifying 93 under.
I see Joey Ocello is tuning in today. Give him a shout out. He's from New Jersey. The Bortz family is checking in from good old Reading, Pennsylvania. Give them a little shout out.
Stid picks up his spare. Again, Galinsky still working for that first strike here in the stepladder finals. Winner goes on to face the #1 seed and a chance at $300 first place scholarship prize. Skurzinski on lane 5 picks up her spare. Again, she'll be behind 23 pins because of Brendan Hunsinger's average. And there goes Galinsky, and we'll get his first strike.
Stid is up by 12 after 4 frames. Mr. Galinsky could cut it to 2 with a strike here in the 5th.
Hunsicker shooting for his spare at lane 6. And he'll get both of them.
Hunsinger doing what he needs to do to keep the lead.
Hunsicker, a 146 average. Demolished that his last game when he finished with the 171 to beat Jennings and Bennett. Galinsky on lane 3. The orange and blue shirt just leaves the sleeper pin behind as he attempted that spare. Through 5 frames, Galinsky at 84. Hunsicker been on point with his spares so far in the shootout and finals rounds, as he picks up his 4th spare in a row there. And on lane 4, Stid in the blue shirt leaves the 10th pin. Back on lane 6, Skurzinski almost left the 5-10, able to knock out the 10 pin at least. Just the 5 pin there. And Stid picking up the 10 pin. Again, bowlers bowling today on the Beijing pattern. 36-foot long pattern. Skurzinski will make the 5 pin, no problem.
On the handicap side, we have Emily up by 7 pins scratch, but down by a little over a mark with the handicap.
Dunbar alongside Jason Althouse. Lanes 3 and 4, you can see the scratch division. Lane 5 and 6, handicaps. Both tight matches, but Stid has the advantage in the scratch division, working off a strike. 107 through 5 frames, but Galinsky able to battle back and gets his 2nd strike of the match there.
This next shot for Alex on lane 3 is going to be pretty big. He could cut Curtis's lead down to just 1 mark at 13 pins with a double.
Keeping it close. Sometimes that's all you have to do on patterns like this. Anything can happen. Just gotta keep it close and make your spares. Alex Galinsky on lane 3. And flush strike as again for him. 2 in a row for Galinsky. Stid working on 1 in a row, but he's able to match Galinsky's double right here with a strike on lane 4. Stid toes the line, gets it out, and just a little high, leaving the 4 pin. We want for the handicap. Brendan Hunsinger able to pick up a spare on that one. Open last frame. but still keeping himself right on in it. However, his match, Emily Skrzinski, working off a strike. Back to the scratch side, Stid able to pick up his spare.
Big double there for Emily.
Big double for her, again, behind by 23 pins in this game with the handicap. While Stid able to get some pins to fall, but just can't get the 5 pin. Skrzinski trying for the turkey, won't get it. He's the unusual 189. Stid picks up his spare. But now Galinsky, a couple of solid shots here, will allow himself to be right on in the match. Galinsky rolls it down, likes his shot, and he'll like his pinfall as he gets his first turkey here of the step ladder finals through 8 frames. He has his 3 in a row, and Stid is on the spare.
Galinsky could actually, with a strike, take the lead in this match. We have a very tight match on the handicap side.
Yeah, strike here would put Galinsky in the lead, maxing out at 234.
Sends it wide.
Little late, leaving the washout. 1, 2, 4, 10. Back on the handicap side though, Hunsicker gets a 9 count. Doesn't strike very much, but he does make his spares, and that's very crucial on a pattern like this. But Galinsky just misses his shot there, opens. So leaving it open to Stid, who's coming up for his foundation frame, while Galinsky open.
That gave Curtis a 20-pin lead heading into the 9th frame.
There goes Stid's shot. Right through the nose for him, leaving a split. 6, 7, 10. Making this a close match yet again. It might just come down to the 10th frame. We'll see what Stid can do here. Fires it in there, just a little off to the right, go round into the gutter. Has a 4-pin advantage now going in to the 10th frame. He'll be going first on lane 3. We'll have the chance to take home the victory in this one though, if you can get 2 in a row, plus 7. First shot for Stid, leaving the 4-pin.
Interestingly enough, we also have a 4-pin match on the handicap side going into the 10th frame.
Hunsicker with the advantage over there, both of them opening in the foundation frame. Hunsicker has the 23-pin advantage, so Skrzinski must beat him by 23 or more. She gets a solid first strike there. As she now is up to 160. Hunsinger at 131. So Hunsinger will need to mark himself with a good ball count here from Skrzinski. Over on lane 3, Stid finishing his game off with a 9 count, 189 for him, and Skrzinski with a double.
On the scratch side, Alex Glinsky will need to double to win this match.
Glinsky, 166 through 9. Like you just said, a double, 3 pins to tie, 4 to win. Skurzinski finishing off for the handicap. She'll finish with a turkey. Hunsinger needing to match at least 2 of those, but also does Glinsky. Here goes Glinsky, gets the flush strike as he pins the trip out there at the end. He'll need another one, but back on the handicap side, Hunsinger, his first strike of the match. Keeping it close, he'll need another one here to keep himself in it.
This is what you see here weekly on the PJBT Tour. Matches coming down right to the 10th frame. Very exciting stuff.
Very exciting bowling when anything like this can happen. Hunsinger right back up to the line. Throws it a little right, coming back, and won't get all 10. So his day will end, but a great outing for him as he came in as the 6th seed, leads as the number 3. Back to Glinsky, needing a strike here. Comes back through the nose and won't get them all to fall as well, leaving the 6th pin. So Alex Glinsky, he'll finish as the 3 seed as well. It'll be Curtis Stitt advancing on to face the number 1 seed, Zachary Dragovitz, in the scratch division. As for the handicap division, it'll be Emily Skurzinski moving on to face Brianne Hood. We'll take one final quick timeout and we'll be back on the Heartland Bowling TV network. Back at ABC East Lanes in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for major number 6 of the PJBT Bowling Series, presented by Heartland Bowling. Dylan Bauer alongside Jason Althouse. We are finally getting ready for the very championship match. In the scratch division, we have number 1 seed Zachary Dragovitz and number 3 seed Curtis Stitt in the handicap division. The number 1 seed Brianne Hood and the number 2 seed, Emily Skurzinski. But Jason, the PJBT now in their 17th season, and it's been a good 17 so far.
Absolutely. Tournament director Matt Himmelreich, he's been doing this for 17 years. In fact, he was, I believe, a junior or senior in high school when he started this. He learned from the best. This is his 17th year. We go all over the state of Pennsylvania, from as far north as Wilkes-Barre to as far south as the Philadelphia area, as far west as Chambersburg, as far east, in fact, as New Jersey. We also do a couple tournaments a year down in Maryland.
Like you said, you got events coming up all over the place next week, being Mountainville Bowling Center. That's Sunday, January 17th, starting at 10:30 a.m. And then on Sunday, January 24th, Hanover Bowling Center in Hanover, PA. And that, again, starting at 10:30. So we have 2 more great events coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yes. I'd like to invite anybody who's out there listening to the sound of our voices to come out. This is fun. As you can see, in the finals, we have Brianna Hood, who's, I believe she's 8 years old, and she made it to the finals in the handicap division. You're never too young to start out in tournament bowling. Start saving for college now. Come on out. We have a lot of fun every week. Matt and his staff here. We have Josh and we have Stacy and Matt's wife Brittany. Matt's parents are here every week also helping out.
Like you just said there, Jason, it's a great way to have scholarship. You know, $300 today is going to the winner to put away in their scholarship fund. $200 first place every week, at least, if not more. And I mean, it's only $30 to enter for PJBT members, non-members $33. So anyone can come out, and as long as you're under the age of 21, it's a great opportunity for everyone in the state of Pennsylvania. Go on to www.pjbtbowlingseries.com. You'll find results, winners, schedules, news, and much more on the website.
Yes. A couple other people that help out. We have Matt's brother, Brent, and we have our good friend Travis down from the York area that helps us out from time to time. He doesn't quite get out as much anymore now that he's a married man. He likes to spend a little time at home with his beautiful wife, Jen. So off we go to the finals. I'm looking for 2 very exciting matches here.
Again, finally off to the finals, where we have Zachary Dragovitz first, Curtis Stitt. Curtis Stitt up first on lane 3 in the scratch division. On lane 5, it's your number 1 seed in the handicap division, Breon Hood, who will be receiving 69 pins. Zachary Dragovitz up for his first shot. Had the buys the first 3 rounds through the shootouts. But finally getting some action, had some practice. We'll get a 9 count on his first ball. Emily Skurzinski on lane 6, getting an 8 count, leaving the 1-8.
I was told Brienne, our leader in the handicap division, she is 10 years old. She, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna, still any age you can still come out and compete. 10 years old, 8 years old, plenty of winners, younger ages, so.
I believe the youngest winner we've ever had was 6.
6.
Brienne has an older sister that also bowls on the PJBT, Jocelyn, who's somewhere in the bowling center now. They bowl out of ABC West.
And the Hoods from Carlisle, PA. So is Emily Skurzinski out of Carlisle. Skurzinski up on lane 5. She's in the red. Unfortunate split there for her, leaving the 8-10. Dragovitz, the lefty, able to get the strike.
Zach trying for his 6th title this year on tour. He is our leader in victories so far. early leader in the Player of the Year voting for sure.
Stid working off a spare. Wow, able to get them all to fall, crosses over and leaves the baby split on the right side, but still able to trip out the 310. Well, Brianne Hood, a little off the mark on lane 6. Curtis Stid in lane 3 in the blue. Just comes in light, misses the head pin, leaves the 1-2-10. Just taking a quick look again at how all these bowlers got here today. Starting off into the shootout round in the handicap division, Brendan Hunsinger took the first match against the 5, 6, 7 seed. Hunsinger, the 6 seed, beat out Cameron Smee and Caitlin Mattingly. In the scratch division, it was Anthony Nyer who came out victorious in that one over Brian Kennedy and Kelly Frayne. Then off into the second round, it was Brendan Hunsinger again beating off the 4 and 5 seeds rather of Colby Bennett and Caitlin Mattingly, or rather, excuse me, the 3 seeds, Shania Jennings. He would then go on to face Emily Skurzinski in the last one. His fate would end there as Skurzinski came out victorious 180 to 174. And then in the scratch division, you had Curtis Stid coming in the second round. He knocked off Sullivan and Nyer, and then he beat his match to come here, where he beat Alex Glenzinski, who was the 2 seed.
Both matches seem to be starting a little slower.
We're seeing some higher scores there, more strikes there for a while, but now they seem to be dying down. Dragovitz able to get his spare.
He's out to an early 14-pin lead.
Stid opened his last frame in the third frame, so that's what's holding him behind. There's Zachary Dragovitz from Whitehall, PA, crosses over, leaves a double wood.
In fact, interesting, Zach's the tournament leader, and yet he drilled up all new equipment this week.
Dragovitz plus 112, nearly doubling Alex Glezinski, who was the 2nd seed through match play. So he's been feeling it so far today, but right now 1 strike. Lane's a little bit different than they were earlier. As Dragovitz able to nail down the double wood. Meanwhile, back over on the handicap side, Brianne Hood left the 5-7 split. Again, she has a 69 pin advantage over Emily Skurzinski. There goes Stid though on lane 4. He's able to get a strike. His 2nd of the match. Again, winner of this match taking home $300 scholarship first place prize. 2nd place, $150. It's Brianne Hood leaving the 10 pin. Left side, Stid almost left the 4-8, or 4-9 rather, but 9 fell out at the end. Stid bowling a 216 his first match here in the finals, and then a 189 last game. Able to get his mark. Down on lane 6 in the red, Emily Skrzinski up. And she's able to knock them all down for a double. Back on lane 4 in the green, Zachary Dragovitz, number 1 seed, gets a strike off a spare.
Something I know Matt would like me to mention, that with this being our 17th year doing this, we've given away over $850,000 in those 16 plus years in scholarships.
It's a lot of money going to scholarships. You have over $1,000 in awards and scholarships at each event too, for bowlers to win. Emily Skrzinski gets the spare after a double.
She's tightening up that match pretty quickly.
Zachary Dragovitz missing, I believe it's the 1 pin that he missed. Wasn't able to find it on either shot. Allows Stid to get back into the match. Through the nose for him.
He couldn't take advantage of the opening that Mr. Dragovitz gave him.
3, 6, 7, 10 for Stid. And he's able to make it, knocking the 3 pin over into the 7 pin. And that'll tighten it up for Stid, who there for a second almost blew an opportunity given by Dragovitz.
One more quick shout out I'd like to give to Brandon Updike, listening in Schuylkill County, probably doing some schoolwork right now.
Stid leaving the 7 pin.
Big
Bran
spare
Hood.
for Brand.
Very big spare. Dylan Bauer alongside Jason Allhouse at ABC East Lanes for major number 6 of the PJBT Bowling Series, presented by Heartland Bowling. Hear all the action right here on the Heartland Bowling TV network.
Right now on the scratch side, we have a 5 pin match.
Emily Skrzinski, 3 of 4 strikes now in the last 4 frames. But Dragovitz, big frame for him, leaves the 7 pin. Back on lane 5, Skrzinski. Up to the line, lets it loose, and there's another double for her. Plus 69 is the advantage that Hood has. So, the way Skrzinski is playing, she might just have enough to fight off Hood, but Hood almost came battling back, leaves the 7 pin. Dragovitz, who's coming off his 7 pin spare. Shoots it down the lane. Crosses over again. Again leaves the double wood 2-8.
Looks like Zach is a little lost on lane 3.
Again, sometimes when you're number 1 seed, you're out for a while and you don't know how the lanes are going to play down. So sometimes being a little bit of a lower seed will actually give you a little bit of an advantage because you know how the planes are playing. So as long as you're focusing in on the lanes, you can make the adjustments before the higher seed has the chance to. Picks up at the spare again though. So keep him right in. Astid is up on lane 4. Shot's just not going to get out far enough, and he'll leave 2.
We would have a 5-pin match. If Curtis makes the spare, heading into the foundation frame 9th.
And he's able to get it to fall. So again, Stig coming up on the foundation frame. Big foundation frame in that game. 5-pin advantage, like you said, for Dragovitz. But in the handicap division, Emily Skrzyncki up on lane 6. Gets 9. She was on a double. Again, we're here in the championship match. Curtis did on lane 3. Gets the strike for him. Big shot for him. Zachary Dragovitz will look to match. Skrzyncki, her 9th frame, shoots the spare. She'll make it.
Big spare for Emily there. Gives her a slight advantage.
Just barely up in that one. Dragovitz leaves the 10-pin. Thought he was going to get them all. Just couldn't get that 10-pin to get some action. But still look to lead in that one with the 10th frame coming up. Skrzyncki, first shot here. And that'll give her just about a 5-pin lead over Brianne Hood. Big spare here.
Big miss for Zach once again on lane 4.
That's crucial open for Dragovitz. Big shot for Skrzyncki. She chops it off, won't get them both. So she'll finish 183. Brianne Hood needs a mark if she wants to smell the $300 scholarship. Hood's shot, just can't have enough on it to get the 9-pin there. But anyways, Dragovitz off to the right. Leaves a 3 count.
It was a great shot by Brianne, just couldn't carry that 9-pin.
Here's the shot from Hood. Going down the lane, just gets it to the left. The 10-year-old Brianne Hood looking at a chance to win the handicap division.
She needs 5 pins.
5 pins for the win, 4 to tie. There goes Brianne Hood. Rolls
Looks
it a
pretty
little
good.
off to the right, but that'll be enough. Brianne Hood taking the 6th major here by 4 pins in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in the handicap division as she defeats her opponent, Emily Skrzyncki, 187 to 183.
Over here finishing off the scratch match, looks like Curtis needs to mark here in the 10th. Like I said, 2 exciting matches here in the final. This is what we get week in and week out here on the PJBT.
Let's get it up to the line. Oof. Even the 1, 2, 10.
Need to convert this.
Dragovitz finished with the 171. Stead must make this. Stead up to the line. Just to the left of the 1 pin, and he's able to knock down the 10 pin. Big spare there for him. 2 pins the tie. 3 pins. Just have to pretty much keep it on the lane here if you're Curtis Stidd, and you will be the winner of the scratch division. 2 clutch shots here to finish. Curtis Stidd, a spare there, and Brianne Hood, a spare in her match for her to win. And here's Curtis Stidd's shot. Down the lane, and he's able to get 7. That's enough to come out with the win as he defeats Zachary Dragovitz 176 to 171 in the scratch division. So like you said, two great matches there. Like Stidd needed a spare for him to make it, and then you have Hood who needed a spare for her to win.
Absolutely, this is great stuff.
Both winners, both Curtis Stidd and Brianne Hood, taking home $300. Second place finisher Zachary Dragovitz, and for the scratch division, Emily Skrzinski going home with $150 in scholarship. In just a few moments, we'll have an interview. Matt Himmelreich, tournament director, will be coming on to interview the 2 winners in Curtis Stidd and Brianne Hood. Stay tuned for that here on the Heartland Bowling TV network.
Oh, okay, we are back here at ABC East Lanes. Tournament Director Matt Himmelreich, and I'm here to just congratulate our winners from Elizabethtown, PA, Curtis Stidd, and from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, Brianne Hood. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Okay, Jason's going to ask you a question or two.
So I'm going to be your interviewee
Okay.
today.
Okay.
Tell me, what was it like in that 10th frame having to make that washout spare to win the match?
Thought I was done.
I thought you
Threw
were
the ball,
done.
I knew that I only needed a mark to win and good count. And when I threw the ball wide, I thought I was done for it. But usually I've been throwing straight at the washouts today, but I tried to hook at it. I don't know why I did, but I did. And I made it.
Well, it all worked out for you. This is your first tournament victory this year? Or?
Second.
Second. Do you know how many for your career?
6.
6.
My first scratch major.
Scratch me. First time you won 300.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're making
handicap.
Penn State Parks awfully proud today.
Trying.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. Now for my best bud. Let's pull up a chair here. Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
So tell me, how did it feel having to make that 9-pin? You make a great shot here in the 10th and you leave a 9-pin. How did it feel needing the spare to win?
Really good.
Really good? That's good. Were you nervous at all in that 10th frame?
No.
Nah. How does it feel to beat your big sister week in and week out here on the PJBT tour?
Very happy.
Very happy, huh? You gonna rub it in a little bit on the way home?
Sort of.
Yeah? How's your thumb feeling? Is your thumb feeling pretty good?
Good.
Good. Is this your first tournament victory this year?
Yes.
Yeah? Are you happy? You gonna have a tell all the kids at school tomorrow what you did?
Yes.
Yeah? They gonna be a little jealous of you?
I think so.
You think so? You like it here on the JBT tour? Who's your favorite person here? Is it Matt? Is it Josh? Is it me? Who's your favorite? Me! That's my girl. Give her there. Good job today. I'd like to thank our guys from Heartland Bowling for helping us out here. Dylan and Brandon. Wish they could come out every week and help us out. We would have a lot of fun week in and week out. But we'll look for this next year. This is my buddy Josh. We will be at Mountainville next week, out in the Allentown area. Come out at 10:30. Let's fill this place up.
Josh's announcements start promptly at 10:30.
And end promptly at 10:32. Till next week, guys.
Good job today, sir.
Thank you, sir.